Say it one more time.
Anthro, Baudrillard, other thing?
Case, Anthro, Baudrillard, and Flow. Their first argument on Case is about how we do not have dissect conscientization. I think that is disproven by all the links debates. They also do not have an argument that is talking about the closets. So this links just as much to them now. The next argument is anti-procedures of criticism. I'm not going for anti-procedures of criticism. There's no offense on this flow. Any residual offense is all backed by the counterclaim Baudrillard. Also not going for permutations are all just as a competition. Both permutations are just as a competition. I'm not going for this flow either. Any risk of someone else's resolve. By one of the other flows now. I feel comfortable sharing the alpha look with you now. However, I would feel a little bit more comfortable if you don't look at it, given the opening. You can all read that after the speech. Okay, line back. First argument is that they did not make a solvency deficit because they did not want to defend our identity. However, we in the 1 and C we came out of the closet about how we said we solved the affirmative also. Just because we still not made a solvency deficit, which means they've conceded. We solved the entirety of the affirmative now. The next argument is the argument about queer theory. I do not know how they think they. This argument is all premised on how we overlook black queers or women queers. However, they overlook all queers, which means they link net more to this argument. If I win any part of the link debate, this is not offensive against them. This is not offensive against the counterplan because it is more offensive against the Aff than it is against the counterplan. There is a question of the link differential now. Since there's only one argument however, he concedes the first argument that our definition of what it means to be queer, our definition of what it means to be queer is a relationship towards difference, one which is not heteronormative, that does not accept things in the status quo like structures of whiteness. It does not just mean being gay, which means it is necessarily inclusive of all of those other groups. They define the way in which queer is traditionally used, not the way in which we use queer. You should not allow the queer to respond to this argument because it was obviously not responded to in the one here now. The next argument is that we want to be called queer. This is something that is part of our own identity. We maybe other queers do not want to be called that. However, we do not force them to be called queer. We just say that this queerness is something that we choose to be part of our identity. We queer the term queer now. Now the link debate. This year they've conceded the argument that we solve the entirety of the case. So there's only a risk of a link. However, we have 4 links. One is they identify. They say that they can help all. One is he says, quote, we. This is based on the oppression of all other minorities. It's not just that you are trying to force queers to come out, but rather the fact that you identify them as a minority in the first place. Not all queer people want to be identified as somebody which you can help. This second argument is about conscientization. Not necessarily every queer person wants to engage in a method of conscientization because they're not comfortable thinking about their queerness right now. That is not something which you should, which means we have a dissecting methodology. The next argument is these silence arguments. These are all a little bit ridiculous. A point is in the 1AC they have a piece of evidence. Sorry, I don't read Korean, so I can't pronounce the name. However, it does indicate that they are fed up with being silent. That necessarily identifies being silent as something which is bad. This second argument is that they're 1AC. The evidence in the Baudrillard flow indicates that if you are silent on questions of race, you do not care about that. Yes, I will admit that it's talking specifically about race. However, there are broader implications of this argument than just what their card talks about. They've conceded the 2NC spin, which indicates that if it is true that you do not care about things that you talk about, this indicates that all queer people who choose not to talk about their queerness are do not care about their queerness. Do not care about their queerness now. The next argument, they've conceded. The next argument, the conditionality argument. Several, first of it was just a question of conditional ethics. Why did you choose to read this on the queerness debate? There's only a risk that there's only a risk you read this on the queerness debate. Also, queerness and ethic is not conditional. My ethical relationship towards queerness is not something which is conditional. You say that people get to choose whether or not they're in the class of that. It's necessarily something which is not true now. Something which is not true now. Now I'll do the conditionality debate here. However, I will flag at the top a star conceded argument. The last argument on the flow is that this is massively outweighed by any of the other arguments environments. When you try to force people out of the queer closet, this is something which is necessarily queer bashing, which outweighs all of the arguments. And we conceded the method to be forecloses the ability to have self-reflection. That necessarily means no one's going to have the ability to be a better person in any way. This necessarily forecloses conscientization. No one can change the way they're told to do something is racist, because we're further perpetuating this flow. We also can see that we're collapsing down into our sexual impacts. Also can see that it's key to multiple decision making. Decision making is key to overcome racism. He just said that your decisions will be racist. However, not being racist is a good decision.